What's up everybody, this is Fish Tank, and today I'm bringing you a video on my new little tank right here. This is actually a native aquarium. As you can see, there's newts in here, and I caught them myself. And you know, a lot of people from Europe might realize the fact that, you know, newts are actually protected under natural laws. However, in Denmark it's actually allowed to catch very few tadpoles of the species, but not too many. That is only why I caught two, and if you don't only catch like a few of them, it's actually legal to raise them in your tank. However, as far as I've read, they do not actually allow you to let them loose again, because that can do that can create some few problems in the wild, which should not happen. So you know, it's going to be pretty fun. You know, I was doing a school project. I was on this like forest school for like a couple of days with my new high school, and you know, we saw some biology of some ponds and, you know, things like that, and we saw some of these newts, and I basically went to the same place just to catch them because I thought they were so cool. And you can see here, this is actually the biggest one of them. You can see that this is a tadpole of the species because it has, you can see right here, it has gills on the outside of its skin, and it got the sort of tadpole tail. If you might realize, a lot of you aquarium people will realize that this actually looks like an axolotl, and that is pretty true. However, they do not stay like this for their life, like for the entire part of their lives. They're actually going to be terrestrial at some point, and at that point I'm just going to basically get you know, a terrarium or a vivarium for them, which is going to be great. So you know, these guys are not picky with food. They actually just eat anything that moves, pretty much. You know, in the wild they're used to any sort of like they're used to eating anything that moves in the water. That means there's the other one. Look at this guy. He's a little bit smaller. You can see he got a red stomach because he just ate some bloodworms. I actually I didn't expect them to eat the frozen bloodworms, but they actually did. Like, I just threw them down there and they just started gobbling up like crazy. So I'm soon going to hatch some brine shrimp, because, you know, brine shrimp actually do remind a little bit of Daphnia in the way that they move, and these guys do eat Daphnia in the wild. So you know, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see them eat live food. It's going to be really nice. There were actually a couple of few small beetles in this water from the pond, and they actually also ate those. So it's pretty great. You know, they eat pretty much anything you offer them, and things like that. So that's great. You know, I tried to design this like you might realize that this is like a ball. But like you know, I'm not planning to keep them in this thing for like a long time, because very soon they're going to be terrestrial, and when they get terrestrial, I'm basically going to move them onto my 45-liter aquarium. Where did he go? Oh, that's weird. Anyway, as you might see here, I tried to create a more natural habitat. However, I do not have any plants from any Danish ponds yet, because a lot of the plants are actually protected, and I'm trying to research on which ones are actually legal to catch and, you know, put into captivity, because you know, there's a lot of Elodia and a lot of Egeria around here, you know, and those sort of plants are legal to you know, put into aquariums, because they literally grow like reeds. So you know, I can do that, but I also want some other plants, and I need to find a way to you know, get that running. You might realize I do have some duckweed in here. This is not you know, duckweed from a pond. It's actually something I have in my aquarium, because I try to get as little as possible life out of that pond, because you know, it's just not good to mess with the balance of you know, a pond. However, you know, it's actually surprising me how I was able to find tadpoles of these newts at this time of the year, because in reality these guys actually do get terrestrial at about August month. They do breed at about March month until, you know, like June, July, and then they'll begin to go up on land. And it actually surprises me how they haven't gone terrestrial yet. It's really surprising. But the weather has been really good here in Denmark for quite a while now, so that might be a reason. You know, they do get terrestrial whenever they feel that the water is getting colder. You know, they will get up on terrestrial land to hide underneath woods, you know, to kind of get that moisturization. But you guys might ask, how are you going to see when they get terrestrial? Because you know, when they get terrestrial, they're not going to survive very long in water. Of course, they're still you know, they need water, so they're depending on water. You know, if you don't have any water for your newts, that's a bad idea, because they need water to survive. However, you can see here at the top of this driftwood, you might realize that I've actually put up here a little plateau where they can go up with the Amazon sword that you can see here, which by the way is not looking too good, but that's just something I just ripped out of my planet tank. You know, they will crawl up on this, on these leaves, and crawl up onto the bogwood right here, and they're going to go up on the top right here. They might sit up here on this thing right here. And when they do that, that's when I know that they will be terrestrial. You know, I will also be able to see that their outside, that like their gills, their weird gills are not going to be as you know, as visible anymore. They will slowly disappear, and their tails will also become more you know, will become more sort of normal, without any fins or anything like that to support them in the water. However, like the plants I got in here is the Amazon sword. I do got some musk balls that just ripped apart. They really like to hide in that. And then I just got some Java musk, some old Java musk back there, which they also like to hide in. You know, it's basically like they do enjoy it. And you know, Java musk balls, and Amazon swords can actually grow in lower temperatures at some points. So it's pretty cool. I got just a normal lamp right here. With some fluorescent bulbs, and they are heating up the water here in the top quite a bit, but they're not actually reaching down all the way to the bottom because the lighting is not too strong, which is great, because you know, newts will often like lay here in the top to get heat, and then they'll go down on the bottom again to, you know, just swim around and find food and stuff like that. And you know, I've had them in here for probably like 3 days now. Yeah, 3 days now. So it's really awesome. It's a really nice experience, and they have been surprisingly well, you know, established into this captivity. So that's really great to see. You know, so what I would say though is that I do not have a filter in this tank, and you guys might be like, why don't you have a filter? The reason for this is because I do not want to try to make any sort of water current in this tank, because newts breed in very still water, and they will stay in there for, you know, most of their lives, and if there's any like violent sort of you know, water flow, they will usually move to another area, or actually go up on land and find another little water hole or pond to actually survive in, because they do not like the very high water flow. You can see he's just chilling on my Amazon sword right here. I'm not able to identify if they are male or female yet. Hopefully I got a male and a female so that I can see if I can breed them. However, it's very hard to breed them in captivity, but you know, challenge accepted. So you know, it's going to be awesome. Like, I've never had a native aquarium. I do enjoy the Danish wildlife. It's actually very interesting. You know, these guys are spread all throughout Europe. You can find these types of smooth newts everywhere around Europe. Also, do realize that you should not confuse the smooth newts with the bigger ones, which are called, I can't remember what they're called in English, but they pretty much just look like smooth newts. They're just a lot bigger, and those are absolutely illegal to catch. And you know, for that reason, you should not even try to catch them, because it's illegal. You should not do that. Don't do illegal stuff, guys. It's a bad idea. Anyway, you know, it's really fun to keep them because they do get terrestrial and things like that, and it's really awesome to keep them in their aquatic state right here when they're tadpoles. They're very easy to keep because it's surprising me how easy they are to feed, because I was actually thinking that they would die of starvation. But these guys actually do eat quite a lot, pretty much anything they can find. If there's anything small inside some moss or anything like that, they'll usually gobble it up, you know. And they just look like small axolotls here in the start. The camera has a really hard time focusing right here. There we go. You can see right here, this is the biggest one of them, and he's developing small black spots everywhere on his body. That indicates that he's soon going to be on land, because you'll actually realize that smooth newts actually got these sort of spots everywhere on their body. Also, if it's legal to catch these small tadpoles in your country, it's not legal to catch the adult species in any country, so you should not even try to do that. But the tadpoles are legal to catch in Denmark, as I said before, in very small amounts. Of course, you know, it's legal to catch them for school projects, you know, education, or scientific research. And you know, I do not classify this as scientific research, but it's still allowed to actually, you are still allowed to catch tadpoles of the species in very small amounts. So, you know, like, be sure that you don't get the adult species. The adult species are a little bit more hard to find as well. Like, these guys are very easy to catch. Like, in the summer, you can just go down with a net and just scoop it over the bottom. You'll usually get a couple of them. Do realize that you should not mix them with any sort of nymphs, like dragonfly nymphs, for example, because those big pieces of dragonfly nymphs and water kelps will actually eat these guys like crazy. It's weird. It's really weird. Like, a big beetle are going to eat these small newts. It's so weird. It's kind of creepy. You can also see I got some fish in here, which I'm not quite sure what they are. Actually, like, I've tried to identify them, and we caught some of them on the school project as well. Our biology teacher was not able to identify them either. They do look like small common roaches, but I'm not quite sure. It might also just be some small minnows or something like that. But they're doing fine in here. They've never harassed the newts or anything like that. Also, a thing I want you guys to realize, if you're going to keep these guys, you know, in these guys' skin, they have small blood vessels everywhere on their skin. And if we touch, look at that guy, look at them, look at that, it's awesome. They're so cool. They're actually very active, surprisingly active. Very curious small little animals. However, do realize that you should not try to touch them, because humans have in particular pretty salty skin, and when this salty skin gets in contact with the blood vessels, it might actually destroy them and sort of like dissolve the blood vessels, which is going to lead to them not being able to pull out as much oxygen out of the water. That's what they use it for. You know, they also got the gills on the outside of their skin, but primarily it look at this guy, look at that, he's just chilling. That's so cool. Anyway, you can hear I'm just geeking out about this because it's awesome. Like, these guys are fantastic. Anyway, it's like you know, you should not try to touch them. You should not try to like stress them out, because they're not used to humans. You know, look at this guy. Look at that. They just like make a quick swimming motion and then they just float down again. It's really weird. You can just see there, just because of the fish swimming nearby, he gets scared. So it's good to have some hiding spots for him. But yeah, I'm going to give you a lot of updates on this tank, guys. I'm going to set up a brine shrimp hatchery right now as we're speaking. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this new project. So yeah, see you guys in another video.